All right, everybody, welcome to the Mind of Iggy. It is Monday, the 30th, 2021. No wonder what's going on today. A whole lot of stuff. Well, I guess we're out of Afghanistan officially now. The military presence is out, so I want to send some prayers out to those folks who are still left behind in Afghanistan. Sending prayers to you, and hopefully you find a way out. So what happens here in the Mind of Iggy, for those of you who've never been on this show, pretty much just gonna talk about what's in my mind. It's unscripted. I really don't talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I just share what I'm feeling at the moment and what's going on in my mind. And so basically that's kind of how it works. You're welcome to chat here with me. You're welcome to stick around. You're welcome just to listen to what I have to say. Sometimes it's fun to hear and listen to what I have to say, and sometimes it could probably trigger you. But that's okay. Sometimes we need to get triggered. Sometimes we need to feel, the pressure of what's going on in the world. So, I don't like to get political, but right now we're kind of things are getting crazy in the world. People are trying to feel a certain way, and people are trying to connect a certain way, and we're all having a difficult time navigating this new world that we're in. Because right now, this new world that we're in, is not the world we're in. It's not the world that I remember, that I recall. It's a lot different now. It's very different. I find that it's very challenging to talk and share about things that you really want to talk and share about, because there's either a critic, there's either somebody who's very militant, there's somebody who just wants to slam and dance you down and doesn't want you to learn, doesn't want you to hear, don't want to hear. And I'm finding that we're not really sharing our thoughts with one another. We're not talking about the things that we want to talk about or feel our emotions together, because we're so angry and we want to be heard and we want things to happen a certain way. So, who is Iggy Garcia? Iggy Garcia is a human being on this planet just like you, trying to figure it out, trying to navigate, trying to move through the energy, trying to figure out what is best for him and what's going to be best for and for others around him. So those of you who've listened to my podcast in the past know that I talk about a myriad of things. A lot of it's shamanism, a lot of it's about the things that I like and I do. But sometimes I get in these little tirades, and I get in these little places where I have to emotionally feel, a certain way. So right now, we have a lot of things going on. We're in a crisis of pandemic of sorts. We're going through. We're all navigating this in one way or another. It's affecting somebody or someone, and we're all moving through it, regardless if we want to or not. It just is what it is. Regardless if you like it or don't like it, it's affecting you. It's affecting me. It's affecting everybody that we know. It's a battle of the vaccinators against the people who have been vaccinated and people who are not vaccinated. I wanted to say that really with an intelligent pause, but it just didn't come out right. Anyways, I find right now that people are really struggling to create an identity for themselves in this crisis, in this moment, in this place, in this fear of not knowing how to feel. A lot of people are feeling a certain way, and I feel like a lot of people aren't able to express themselves. Now, granted, I get it. People are saying we're in a crisis, Iggy. We're in a pandemic. It's different than trying to talk about abortion or talk about your right as a human being and you're right about this or that. But here's the thing. Regardless if we're in a pandemic or not, we truly don't know. And I'm not a doctor, okay? So whatever I'm saying here, you either go with it or you don't. There's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of things, that have not really been presented properly to us. We remember when we were presented, that if you were vaccinated, then you were safe. And now all of a sudden you're vaccinated and you still get COVID. These are the kind of things that kind of throw people off and kind of make you not want to trust, authority, not make you trust your government. And I'm not here to be, creating stir up the roost or anything like that or cause problems. I'm just kind of stating facts that, that other people are not willing to say. Other people are not willing to say, hey, you know what, this is what's going on. Now, I know that eventually down the line, we're going to find out, and we're definitely going to know what's happening and where we're at and what's going on. But we're only 9-10 months into, this huge experiment with ourselves. And I hope, I really do hope that science finds a way to challenge this. But I don't feel that science right now, and this is just my opinion, doesn't mean nothing because I'm not qualified to give my opinion, except give my opinion of how another human being feels about it. I don't feel comfortable with the information that's been given to me. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm a little bit nervous, and I've put other things in my body. Yes, I've put other vaccines, and give me and listen to me. I am not an anti-vaxxer by any means because I believe, but there's this feeling intuitively in my body, in my spirit, in my soul that doesn't resonate, doesn't line up with what is going on out there. It just doesn't. I mean, I can't help it. I mean, that's just where I'm at. I can't help but feel that something's not right. Is that intuition? Is that empathy? Is that just me? Am I wrong? There's a lot of people who want to mandate the vaccine. And they think they should be mandated and everybody should take it before it. But there's a lot of people who can't take it. There's a lot of immune compromised people who can't take it. But anyhow, what do I know? And then we move into other realms of things. The economy is kind of weird right now. It can either go up or down depending on how everything happens. There are businesses now shutting their doors to people who are unvaccinated in certain regions. I guess it's whatever you call it. I mean, it's like no shoes, no shirt, no service, I guess. So there's going to be no shoes, no shirt, no service, no vaccine. It seems like it's just going that way. But here we go. And we're moving down the line. If we're going to keep going down this topic, down this rabbit hole. Now we have Afghanistan. Yes, we've been there too long. And there's been other administrations who could have corrected it, and they didn't. There are other groups of people who were there before Biden who could have made things right. Now, I don't know the ins and the outs, and I hear what I hear, and I read what I read. But to me, it kind of feels like Biden kind of dropped the ball on everything. He kind of dropped the football. He kind of dropped and left a lot of people stranded. And now that we're out completely from Afghanistan as of the 31st, I believe, I think it's already the 31st over there. So we don't have an American presence anymore in Afghanistan. And the people who are left there, I pray and I send a lot of love their way because I'm sure they didn't want to be left behind. Nobody wants to be left behind in a situation like that, and especially in a situation that you don't have control over. Now, could they have done things differently? Could the American government been able to work through this energy and do it differently? Sure, of course they could. Because America's number one, right? We're like the number one country in the world. We're the country of free enterprise, freedoms, and democracy and all that. And then China's like the number one in communism, and they're the ones who are ready to spread their message to the world. So if America failed in Afghanistan, now the Chinese have their opportunity to go and share their story and their message in Afghanistan, or support those people and create an infrastructure for themselves, create business for themselves so they can strip it of the minerals and the contents that are there as well. Now, it's just a game. This is a game. This is like Monopoly. This is like a live version of Monopoly. We lost. We got sent home. Basically, when it boils down to it. Now, I watch Biden and I watch him kind of cringe a little bit when he's talking about things and his handlers and when he's asked questions. These are questions that I have to ask. These are reporters that I need to ask questions to, for them to question me. There's a lot of people who are asking who's running the government, who's really behind, who's pulling the strings. And it just makes you wonder. We're allowed to ask questions. The moment you're not allowed to ask questions, you should be worried. The moment you're not allowed to, ask why we're not allowed to do that, we should be very concerned. You should never be hushed. You should never be quiet. You should never be put in a position where you're not allowed to talk, where you're not allowed to express yourself. No. Number one, this is the United States of America. This is what people strive to come here to make a better life for themselves. Is it the ideal situation? No, absolutely not. It has been in some places. Better in some places, that don't give you the rights to express yourself. My God. Circling back to Afghanistan, there's women now who are going to be put in some situations that are not really good for them. That means they're going to be enslaved. They're going to be married at a young age because that's their culture. That's their belief. That's what they do. People are like, oh, but they can't do. Like I said, America dropped the ball. Biden dropped the ball. We had an opportunity to make something really good there, and we didn't. I think everybody got complacent. I think everybody involved assumed that things were going to go a certain way. I heard that some of the troops didn't want to fight. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't believe that. I don't think true. I don't know if that's true. That just doesn't sound right. When we leave our armament, we leave our money, we leave all this stuff behind, it just makes you wonder, why? Why would we do that? Are there bigger games at play here? Are there things happening that we don't know? I understand that, there's all kinds of things going on between governments and relationships and ideologies and stuff, but I believe that something's not right. I believe that something's not right. And what is that? What that is, I don't know. But I could just feel it in my bones. You know how you just know what you know, but you don't know how you know it, but you just know it. That's kind of how it feels for me. Now, another concern I have is, what happens next? What happens to our country? Now what happens when we bring in an influx of refugees, people from this country, Americans and non-Americans, and people who got on that plane? Are we able to help them? Because when you start to look at it, we're talking about 6 feet of separation and masks and disease. We're traveling. We're bringing people from different countries into our country. Do we have protocols for that? Are those things going on? I'm sure there's something going on, but it makes me wonder if there is, because if we were able to create that debacle in Afghanistan, excuse me, are we actually doing things right here? Are we doing them correctly? And I'm going to have to say no. I don't think so. We have things that are going on in the border. We have things that are going on in different states. We had an election that was contested. We have had all kinds of crazy stuff. Just in not even a whole year yet. Not even in a whole year. We're not even completed a whole cycle, 1 year cycle, and all this drama that we're going through as a nation. As a shaman too, I have to also understand that the people that I'm working with ask me these questions. They want to know what's going on. They want to feel safe. And sometimes they don't feel safe. They don't. Now, it's good to be here. It is good to be here. But we have to believe it too when we say it. But I hope that America starts getting on track. I hope whatever we decide to do as a country, now we also have what's going on in Louisiana now after the hurricane. It's one of the strongest hurricanes we've had. It's a category 4 to 5. In 1850, I think, was the biggest hurricane they ever had to hit that region. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's a whole bunch of things. There's a lot happening. There's, being president's tough, not easy. You got some tough decisions to make, Mr. President. I'm not saying I'm going to kick you out or anybody's going to kick you out, because I don't think that's going to happen. But you need to get the game going. You need to get your vice president involved. You need to get your team going. It sounds like you're not really playing with your team. I don't know. It just seems really odd. It just seems really strange. I'm not saying that Donald Trump would have been better. I don't know who would have been better. But things aren't good right now in America. You may be good in segments in certain pockets, yes. But I don't think that America is as stable, as strong as we used to be. We have some things we need to work on. Will we be able to work on those things? I don't know. I mean, now the president's all-time low, he's at what, 46%? He was 61 in the spring. That's a lot. That's a big fall. That's the people talking. That's your constituency is talking. That's when your numbers drop. That's your constituency that's dropping it. What can you do to it? I don't know. Maybe it's just bad timing. I don't know. We'll see. So what are good things happening in America? The kids are back in school. We're trying to get back to some normalcy, which nothing will ever be normal again after we shut down and we had to lock down. It just won't be. We have to accept that fact. Whatever you're looking for to be normal, to create the normal, is not going to be. What is the new normal? There is no new normal. There's no such thing as a new normal. We just move on and we keep moving. We keep pumping on. We just keep going forward. Quit having these expectations that things are going to be like a certain. No, because we don't know how humans are going to respond or how they're going to react. How are you going to react? But when we move into that space, that energy which we are like, we feel safe, then we do things that are good. But we don't feel safe. I don't feel safe right now. I don't feel safe at all. I'm not living in fear, but I have to second guess some things now. We're in a time where we don't know. We're uncertain what's going to happen. You have factions of people who are militant against people who are not vaccinated. You have people who are vaccinated who are upset with people who are threatening them. You have a whole country. We've left Americans behind in Afghanistan. You have a border crisis down here in Mexico where we're letting in or not letting people in now. Now I think it's been stopped just because we can't. America is a powerhouse, yes, but America also has to know its limitations, has to know its strengths and where it needs to put its things. This is everything's just bad timing. So how do we move through this energy? How do we move forward through it? Because it's in our head and people talk about it. I'm talking about it because it's worrisome, because it's in our thought. It's in our minds. It's current events. It's what's happening. It's, to play stupid and act like nothing's happening. That's the worst thing you can do. Acknowledge it, see it, believe it, understand it. And when I mean believe it, believe that these things are happening. Not believe it, own it, and you're putting your body. No, just know that happened. That's going on. How do we change that energy? How do we focus that energy? How do we move that energy? How do we go into a better spot? How do we go into a better place? And I think that's what we're working on right now. That's where we're working on. We're trying to figure that out as a collective. First of all, we have to acknowledge that there's an issue. There's something wrong. It's just like if you're going to counseling, just like if you're going to go to a psychiatrist. We have to get to that point where we understand that something's not right. Then we have to understand that, maybe we're part of the issue. Maybe we're part of the problem. Maybe we're part of the reason why it's this way. Because if there's a problem and we're there, usually that's a good indication that we have some things to work on. Now there's a problem in Afghanistan. We left, right? Now we're gone. We're not there. So I guess it's not our problem, right? If you want to play it like that. So what can we do in the future? What can we do better? Well, one thing we can do better is we could become more proactive, not necessarily go protest and throw and bomb and destroy and rip apart neighborhoods. Get a writing campaign of writing, campaign stating to your congressional leaders, to your senator leaders, and say, hey, we don't like this. We don't like this at all. This needs to change. But we don't hold them accountable. We don't hold our leadership accountable because we give them the rope. We give them the long leash to do what they want. And the illusion is that we're holding the leash. We're not holding squat diddly do. We're not holding nothing. We're not in control. It's the illusion of control. They make us feel like we're in control. I voted for them. The only way you can change things is if you outvote them, vote them out. And that's kind of how you send your message. But when you look at these small elections, Congress, Senate, your local elections, this is where you start the grassroots. This is where you start. Your congressman, your in your state Congress, your state Senate, your mayors, your city officials, city councils, your governors. Those votes are prestigiously very valuable, and they need to be. That's where we need to do the work in the grassroots, in the small area of elections. As we move into the midterm elections, so many times we just let a handful of people vote and decide for us, and that's kind of what the problem is with America right now, is that we make too many. We make excuses for not voting, and I'm not saying you can't vote. Vote, you don't vote. It doesn't really matter. It only matters when you're active. When you're active, it matters, because when you're not active, you don't really affect the flow because you haven't voted. Because if you've never voted, it doesn't matter until you start to vote. And then when you vote again or you don't vote is when it matters, because then you were in the rhythm, you were in the flow with that. So you vote once, you should vote twice. It's your right here in America to vote. It's a very powerful tool. But a lot of people won't vote. And I don't damn anybody for not voting. But there are people who would damn people for not voting. Oh my God, if you don't vote, yo, man. Listen, a non-vote is also a speaking, very loudly what's wrong in this country. Because sometimes you vote and the same people just keep winning and winning over and over. It doesn't make a difference. Why? Because we're landlocked in gerrymandering in different regions, different cities, and different towns. The way things are flowing, the way things are the elections are in the districts are aligned because of the number of voting and the way it works. And so this is what happens. People get discouraged. That's why people don't get involved in politics, because politics makes it difficult. Politics makes you want to not do things. Now, I ran for office back in 2004, 2006. So you learn very quickly, that it's an old boys club. They don't want you there. They want me there. They want some Hispanic guy in there running for office. They just didn't want me because I was an outsider, and they did everything in their control to move me out. The first time they disqualified me because my petitions weren't written properly. They weren't validated properly. They weren't, registered properly. Certain things weren't put down. But then I'll tell you, the next time that I ran, I made sure that everything was, all of my keys and all the little dots were in the right place. When they want to screw you, they screw you. Plain and simple. That's politics. American politics. When they want to mess you up, they don't want you around. They know how to do it. So where does America go from here? I don't know. We have to see. But I don't think that in the next 3 years that we go through, I don't see Biden winning again. I don't really see him. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be alive. I don't even know if he'll be president because of health issues, or maybe he just passed away in office. I don't believe he has the stamina to run for office again. Now, is Trump the answer? I don't think so. But for a lot of people, he'll be the answer. But we can't get good leadership anymore like we used to. I don't know if we ever had good leadership. It depends who you ask. Because everybody who runs for office, there's always some darkness, some shadow side of them that creeps up and then kind of knocks them out. But I think sometimes when people would just own up that they said, I screwed up, doesn't make me a bad leader. Just makes me a person who had made a poor decision at one time. But I think that's what questions people. They make a poor decision, They may make a poor decision if they're in the position they're in. And I think that's what happens. And I think it's what goes on people's minds. Now, can you change the world? Yeah, you can change the world, but you got to know what you want to change. First, you got to know what you want to change. But at the rate that we're going, I don't know. I don't know what you will change, how you will change it, what it would look like. But regardless, this country's in our hands, and we hand it over to a group of people to run it for us. And then we're going to find out. We're going to see if they're doing a good job or not. For 2 years in Congress, right? The president 4 years, and then you got your senators, same way. We'll see. But if it's always the same faces, always the same people, I don't know. For me, that doesn't show progress really. Most of these people are already set in their ways, created made their deals, and done all the things they want to do. So I don't know. We'll see. But I just wanted to talk a little bit today. So I appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you tuning in, being here with me, in the mind of Iggy. Just let me talk whatever I'm thinking at the moment. Rambling. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. Just got to talk and share the feelings and emotions that run through your body. Because if you don't, you hold them in, then, they can fester and just create more issues inside you. So get yourself a podcast, get yourself a journal, get yourself something to write on. Get a little recorder. Express your thoughts. Share your thoughts. Be with your thoughts. Because when you can be with yourself, you're going to heal the pieces and parts of yourself. So all I can say is go out there, do your very best with the information that's in front of you. Just be kind to one another. That's another start there. Just being kind to each other and honoring each other's spaces and knowing that other people don't think like you. That when every human being sees you, they see a version of you and they have their own version of you and what that looks like. When I see another human being, that's my projection, how I see them, and vice versa. You have 5 people in a room, you ask them, they describe me, they all describe me different. Because they have to filter things through their system, through their mind, through their rose-colored lenses, and through their memories and their associations of what a person would be, how they project what a person would look like or a person would be like. So go out there and do your best. Be kind to one another. Care for each other, because you know what? We only have the moment. We only have this time. We don't have this lifetime. If you come back, don't come back, we don't know. Some of us believe we do, and some of us believe we don't. But regardless, if you have faith, believe and trust your faith. Be in alignment with the thing that brings you love and joy and energy. Because that's the only way we move forward in this world. Knowing that we are doing better. Knowing that we're making a difference. Because when we're part of something, we're involved in something, also know that, make sure that you have your own mind to be able to see outside of it, step away from it, and acknowledge it, but also study it too. Don't just give yourself away so simple, so easy, and carefree, and and just like whatever, because that doesn't help you. That's not good for you. That's not good for anybody. But anyways, guys, be well. Take care of yourselves. Matakuyasin. It's good to be here. Love you guys very much. I appreciate it. I know the Mind of Iggy doesn't always pop up here on these shows, but when it does, hopefully you can tune in and be with me. We have Iggy Garcia live. That'll be tomorrow, sometime in the evening. All right. And then we circle back with one of my Minds of Iggy's. But here we go. It's good to be here. Remember that. Be respectful, be honor to one another. Know that there's a higher source. Know that there's someone out there praying for you. Your ancestors are praying for you. They're always with you. All right. So I'm going to call this unscripted version, just wherever I was feeling, wherever I was at, wrap for today. And hopefully we can come back at a later date and share our feelings and emotions. And I will see you guys next time here on the Mind of Iggy. Be well. Take care. Ho'oponopono, matakuyasin. And it's good to be here. And I will see you guys next time.